was in range. Why didn't you take him?
Small gate. I'd go shoot big bird.
If I had a clean shot, if you weren't sitting right here, I would have taken him.
That was 4 or 5 more on the hill. I was hoping they would all come down.
I almost told you to duck.
All right. Ooh, that's a good thing.
American Expeditions, presented by Yamaha.
Today, we're turkey hunting near Winnsboro, South Carolina.
Fine place.
Well, I am ready. Don't forget my gloves. I need these. Man, this is a pretty field.
Beautiful, ain't it?
What all they got planted out here? See clover?
Got clover, bicolor, different things for all the game birds. It's really turning these turkeys on. They love it.
I don't know about you, but I'm working up a sweat.
It's hot today.
You think we can find anything out here?
Yeah, I saw 5 longbeards out here yesterday.
Oh, really?
And I mean, when I say longbeards, they like this. Good
Oh,
birds.
really?
Yeah, good birds.
Give me a hit on this. Let me see how this thing sounds. Now, why such a long box like that?
The long box is for like midday calling, mid-morning, when all the rest of your locator calls don't work well, like an owl hoot and a crow call. They done quit crowing and owling. You pull the locator call out, which is long paddle box, and it's really got a cracking sound, raking cracking sound when you hit it like nothing else. And they'll respond to it on a shock gobble to it.
Now, this is going to work better than mouth call. This is giving us distance so they can hear us further away.
It's got the shrillness of the cut to air on a windy day. If you're having a problem on a windy day, it's good for that also. But it's mostly for locating, and you can call the bird right on in with it. But most of the time, I take a regular friction type call, purr and cluck, and bring them on in closer.
Let's see what it sounds like. It's not going to bust my ears.
It's a good locator call. They'll respond, and once he gobbles, that gives you a location of where he's at. You can pinpoint him from that and get in and set up close.
Now, I can hear that echo as it travels on out.
Travels on in there.
Now, what are we looking for as far as knowing that the turkeys are in this area? What should we be looking for?
Well, as you saw coming up through there, there's a lot of droppings also here. We've run into a bunch of scratchings here. There's a lot
These
of
little areas
feathers
right
laying
there.
around, and the
Yeah.
droppings. This is where the hens have been more or less coming out, dusting their bodies, getting mites and stuff off of them, and also heating their body up to go back to the nest and keep a good solid temperature on the nest.
Now, how good are your turkeys? Could you smell that and tell how fresh it is?
No, afraid not.
All right.
But I'm good, but I'm not that good.
Let's see what we can find.
Okay.
American Expeditions, sponsored by Yamaha. See your local dealer today for quality ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles, watercraft, and outboard motors. And by the Internet's Moto World Network. Finally a way to ride the web rather than surf it at www.motoworld.net.
Let me get this. Can't see them. Steps out of here.
You got it. Oh, man. Would you look at that?
Ain't it beautiful?
Oh, man. Look at these spurs. All right. Those are some big
Got a
spurs.
Nice beard.
How old would you say this is?
He's probably a 2-year-old bird. Looks like about a 10-inch bird.
Oh, man.
Looks like he's been burned off on the end here, though. But he's a beautiful bird. Tough bird.
Yeah, he was a tough bird. I didn't see him. I saw his tail feathers just as they fanned right there on the bottom of the ridge. And then when he was working with that other hen, that shows your calling. You were doing a good job on the calling you brought him away from
He
that
came
hen.
away from the hen, but he got in the stick stuff in here, and I couldn't see him for a long time. And I was kind of worried that he was walking away, but you kept saying, there he comes, and
Yeah,
you know, I couldn't even see him.
And I guess from here, from where we shot, looks like about a 45-yard shot, man. That was a good shoot.
Let's
What-
try to get you one.
You said that there was another gobbler down there. I didn't see him. So you think we can work down the ridge, and you got your bird. I'm ready to get my bird.
I believe we can do it.
Good shooting. Before we get up on these birds, let me ask you something. What's the best way to approach these? We've got a pretty strong wind. I know they're smart, but should we be coming in upwind, downwind?
Turkeys don't smell you. The main thing you got to watch is eyesight. You just need a good cover to get you from where you're at in a good position close to the bird, you know, like 100, 150 yards or close if you can possibly get that close. Set up with some good concealment, like good camouflage.
Okay.
Position yourself against something like this log here or back up against a large tree. Anything to conceal yourself. But the main thing is be perfectly still but relaxed. In other words, don't be slapping mosquitoes or moving your head or anything like that. In other words, just relax and sit down. And
What if I got an itch?
you have to just do like that. Don't move, because once you get the bird's attention, his eyes are just like periscopes, and his whole head's like a periscope. He can see behind, forward, and that bird can see you. He can see you bet your eyes.
Well, I understand they can see through trees. Too.
Yeah, they can do that.
Let's see if we can get on them.
Okay. Tony.
That's a nice sized bird.
Yeah, he's a big bird. He don't seem to be responding though.
No, he doesn't seem to be too interested at all. think he just came in here to do some feeding?
Looks like he's just feeding along. I'm gonna try this slate call on him. Got this last call here. This will kill him.
He's not doing the thing.
He's not responding.
No, he doesn't
He's
seem
just feeding along. He's not interested too.
Yeah.
He's beautiful.
Yeah, that is a pretty bird. That is a pretty bird. Come on, come on.
He just ain't interested in the thing, Tony.
He took off over that ridge.
He's got somewhere he's headed.
Well, are we doing something wrong?
No. I mean, birds will act like that sometimes.
We got several different calls that you're using to call him.
Yeah.
And I noticed that every time he'd come to a certain point and stop, you'd work with one call and then you'd go to another call. What are you doing?
I was testing the water to see just what he would respond to.
Okay, now the first call that you were using, what was that?
There's a cackler box. It's a long box, locator type box.
Okay, now this was the same locator box that we talked about earlier.
Yeah. It'll get his attention when nothing else won't. That's why I pulled it out to start off with. I wanted to get his attention first.
Well, now, he came into the field when you were working on that. He came into the field, came up and stopped. You went to another box. What did that other box do?
The other box just got a high frequency cut on it that I really like, and you know it yeps real good. Got a good clear yep. There's a difference in the two boxes.
Now notice too, the way you hold your thumb over it and do it like that, versus the way you were using the long box, a little bit different.
Yeah, it's altogether different box. It's got a different tone to it. It's got just altogether different characteristics. It's good to have more than one or two calls on you. If you notice, my sack is just cram packed with calls.
Yeah.
And I manufacture calls, but my preference is a box call, slate call, diaphragm. I got 2 or 3 type slates, 4 or 5 type boxes.
Pull out the slates here too, because that was one thing I was curious about.
Okay.
You got 2 different sizes, 2 different shapes.
Yes, this is a round call, conventional type round call, and does some beautiful purrs.
Now let me hear the other slate. What does that other slate do that's different from that round call?
Altogether different tone, and this one will just do a lot more than the round call.
Now what is that relating to the turkey? When you use this type of slate versus that round slate, what is that saying to the turkey?
Well, it's just the preference of calls, really. I mean, some people like round calls, some people like like the trough type calls, but this call here just seems to do the trick for me when I get a bird in pretty close.
Really?
So it does a beautiful cluck, purr. A little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
And it's got
a little deeper too.
Yeah.
I noticed from that.
It's got a heavier hollow sound chamber to it, which is more mellow. You can throw a lot of rasp into it.
I'll tell you what. Since he took off over that ridge, you think we can go down and use the calls and try and drum him up on the other side?
There's a good possibility. The birds are weary out in the field. They're harder to kill out of a field than anywhere else.
Really?
He feels more comfortable in the woods. In other words, he'll stand out in that field and gobble and look, and that's what that bird was doing. He was more or less trolling for a hen, and he came up through here just looking. He didn't even get in the right field. You notice that? And he came up to the edge of it and looked and seen no hens were there, so he ambled on.
Let's see if
he heard us, but he wasn't coming into these woods after it.
Let's see if we can go track him down.
All right, let's do that. Looks pretty in here.
Now, explain to me, as far as the type of birds that we're hunting,
Now these are
We're on the eastern birds.
the eastern turkeys.
Yes.
Now these are there's several different types. The Osceola, which is what out of
Florida.
Out of Florida.
The Rio Grande, which is in the Midwest, and the Miriam is in the out west. And there's 4 species of birds. We hunt the eastern birds here in South Carolina.
Okay. What's have you ever gone for Grand Slam?
Never have, wanting to do it.
Really? That'd be exciting.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of fun. Let me see one of your calls real quick. I was noticing this thing earlier. That is a pretty call. That's
a custom built call.
Custom built call. What do you mean? You custom build these for your customers?
Yeah,
or?
it's not a mass production box, or all my calls are custom built calls. They're built by individual people and hand tuned, and a little bit more perfection in them than a manufactured mass produced call.
I noticed this earlier. It's a pretty call.
Yeah.
Not only does it sound good, but it's pretty.
Yeah.
Now you're out of where?
Oh, I live in Abbeville, Alabama.
Abbeville.
Yeah. The reason I got into call making is back in the early days, I got frustrated. I was young and didn't know anything about turkey. And I started out using the calls to buy over the counter, and they just wasn't reproducing the sounds that I was listening for and hearing in the woods. So I turned around and set out to build a call of my own, and I built this pig to start off with, and this pig will run just about on any slate call. And I was real proud of it, so I matched it and built another call. This one's out of aluminum. One of my first ones was aluminum. Later on, as I improved it, I went in and built another pig, matched up pretty well with that with a higher pitch. Got a little higher pitch sound. What people don't realize about a custom-built call, a custom-built call is built out of hand-select wood. The hand-select wood, the grains have got to be perfect on it. You go into a milling process and you end up with a part similar to this. Or after the milling process, you go into the tuning process and you end up with a piece something similar to this. Now that you got your box roughly tuned, then you got to select the paddle for it. And your paddle selection is real important, and probably one of the most important things about a box call. You select the finest grade wood you can possibly get, then you route it out or mill it out, or however you want to say it. You get your concave on it just like you want it. You try to match it to the right box, and in doing so, it's going to take a number of paddles to apply it on a number of boxes to select the right paddle for each box. In other words, each box of the paddle's got to be perfect. Once you get the call tuned and everything put together right, this is what a true custom call should sound like.
American Expeditions, sponsored by Yamaha. See your local dealer today for quality ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles, watercraft, and outboard motors. And by the Internet's Moto World Network. Finally a way to ride the web rather than surf it at www.motoworld.net.
Are you ready?
Yeah, man, I'm ready to get at them today.
Excellent.
That's a good-looking gun you got there.
Oh, thanks. It patterned real well.
I like that camo job on it.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things I like about it. Took a little while to get used to the scope, though. What are you shooting?
I'm shooting a 12 gauge.
Really?
I got a super tight choke in there. Throws a real good pattern.
What type of shell are you using?
I shoot a number 5. It just seems to work better in my gun because you need to go out and pattern your gun before you go hunting and just see which shell shoots best, a 4, 5, or 6 shot, or whatever, preferable to the gun that you take.
Now, I patterned this with 4, and it seemed to work pretty good. Now, give me some tips on how to get a better pattern.
Well, Tony, you gotta go out there and shoot the gun a lot and try all different brands of shells, all different size shots. But the main thing is try to get the most dense pattern you can possibly get in a 30-inch circle.
From how far out?
About 35, 40 yards.
35, 40, okay.
Because, that's going to be where your game's going to be when they're in range. I wouldn't try to shoot anything over about 40 yards.
Okay.
So I'd pattern it at 40 yards, and then you'll know what he's doing. When he walks into that range, you're pretty well set up.
Well, you ready?
I'm ready to get at him.
All right.
Dog.
Oh, man.
Hey, that's a good bird.
That is a pretty bird.
Hmm.
Excellent. That's great, man.
Told you would do it.
I tell you what, this is my first bird. Not a bad Jake.
That's a good bird for
Not a
your
bad
bird.
Jake at all.
Yeah.
You know, when they came out of the woods over here, that was a surprise. I think it surprised you too. I was sitting there listening to you.
I saw those three red heads,
Oh yeah,
pop out there like that.
that was nice.
Oh.
That was nice. The only thing I kept hearing you say, okay, get your gun ready, get your gun ready. But I was afraid if I got it up, because they were looking right at me. I was afraid if I got that thing up, it would have spooked them and they would have been gone and wouldn't have been able to have got the shot.
I was afraid you was gonna wave it like this.
I tell you what, my heart's still racing. Are you ready to head back to
Proud
camp?
for you.
Well, thanks.
Yes, let's go. You're
Thanks,
gonna have
I'm
to tote
proud.
this bird.
You gonna make me? Well, okay, I got it.
I'm gonna
I'll
make you
carry it.
carry.
That's fine. I got it. Ah, man.
Nice hunt. Huh?
Yeah, that was. I tell you what, that was a lot of work, though.
Yeah, we work hard for that bird. I'm just proud you got one. That'll make a turkey hunter out of you.
Well, I'm ready for another trip. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of Go Network, go.com.